How did you get into this business?
It so happens that my late dad, he was into advertising, and that appealed to me very early in life. In any sector, there is usually a need. I decided I was going to work for 10 years after leaving school, and that after 10 years, give or take, I must have risen to the top of that company or wherever I'm working. And I said, wherever I have reached after the 10 years, I was going to pull out. I tell my children, I said, look, anywhere you find yourself, it is an opportunity for you to learn how business is done in that sector.
Welcome to another episode of Building Wealth with Femi. I'm your host, Femi Rogers. This podcast is about building wealth. We bring in seasoned entrepreneurs, businessmen who have experiences and have built several businesses, and we try to learn from them the challenges that they faced and the things that they did right to become successful. Today, I have Mr. Ladi Sole. He is the CEO of Uniksites Ltd. This is an advertising company. It's called out of home advertising company. Right. Interesting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Femi.
Right. So, advertising. This is marketing, right? Advertising and marketing is the same thing.
Yes.
This is where the money is. This is the biggest industry where there's a lot of money. You must be a very wealthy person.
Well, if you say so, the business is robust. It's actually marketing communication. So we try, to bring to the consumers notice, attention, products and services out there. And if that attracts money, fantastic. We just share a little out of that.
How did you get into this business?
Wow. Really, it's a long journey. When I was in the university, I already made up my mind that I was going to, be an entrepreneur. And it so happens that my late dad, he was into advertising, and that appealed to me, very early in life. So I guess I read English. And part of, our course curriculum then was advertising. So it got me more interested. And I said to myself, it's an area to go into. Then I wasn't even thinking about the money, but it was just the love for the practice.
So it was something you inherited anyway. You didn't have to think far. It was family business.
No. My father didn't have his own business. He worked with the Nigerian Railways, and he worked with the advertising department.
Okay.
The Nigerian Railways. So, but I just liked it because of maybe the flamboyance that also comes with it. So early in life, I fell in love with that profession, and I unknowingly decided that was the way to go when I finished school.
From university, you jumped into business.
No, exactly. Again, my advice, to young people is first get employed so that you can learn how money is made. You may have your ideas if you go into business. That's not to say some people don't go into business right away from school, but try and, get into the industry or whatever industry, learn for some time, see how money is made, because, it's different, if you are out there and you want to begin to run something on your own. But if you have gone through the rubrics, the rubrics of it, and then you will be adequately prepared.
When you see how money is made, is there any way you can explain that further for our audience?
How money is made in the industry?
Well, yeah, in your industry or any other industry,
in any sector, there is usually a need, and if you can provide that need, whether service or product or whatever, of course, it will be exchanged for money, and you'll make
I think the most difficult part is to identify that need. I mean, it's easy for you to say there's a need, but most places are saturated right now. What do you think?
Well, in my own case, when I left school, luckily for me, I worked with an advertising agency, Ogilvy, Benson and Mather. Then, so I when I left OBM, that was my very first, job. When I left OBM, I joined NTC, Nigerian Tobacco Company, now BAT. And I was the marketing communications manager, and I had to interface with advertising agencies, particularly the sector of that deals with out of home. And I noticed that was not properly organized then. In fact, people used to refer to them way back then as carpenters. So I saw that need in that sector, and that was what made me decide that this is the sector to do it exactly, to do it better, and then maybe make money out of it. But first, to do it better and create, a better service in that area. And then if you achieve that, then definitely, something can follow, which we may call wealth.
Advertisement is a very, very interesting sector. I know that. It's one of the sectors that has been changing rapidly. Advent of social media. Back in the days, we used to talk about billboards. Now we're talking about targeting, retargeting. How does this changes? Can you tell us what you went through? Was there any way these changes affected you? Or are you still, is billboard still your main market, your main of advertising?
It still is. But of course, social media advertising is also creeping in. But the changes specifically that has occurred in this sector, the days we are talking about, we had wooden structures. Those were the kind of billboards you'll find. In fact, I said my dad used to work with Nigerian Railways Corporation in their advert department. They had wooden structures all over, basically that was what, was good then. But if you look at today, we no longer have such structures. We have solid structures. We even now have LED structures. Some structures can cost you LED. Yes, that is all those electronic billboards. So you see, the change in that regard has been big. From wooden structures that you have messages displayed on, to now having electronic billboards, and even before the electronic billboards, we now have metal structures. Unipools. Unipools are those big billboards that they have one stand. So they're all over the place. So that change has been great. But agreed, social media advertising has also come in. All that has done is to enable practitioners, to begin to think and adapt to these changes. And if you do that, you will continue to play in the industry. But if you restrict yourself to what has been happening in the past, all those old structures, then you may be in danger of your business becoming extinct.
Where do you see advertising going? We've moved from the wooden billboards to the iron, from the iron to the digital, we're talking about social media. Do you think even this type of billboards will survive the future with so many technology coming up?
It will. It's just that it will have technology infused more into it, more and more. Like you can be at your studio like this, and you'll be changing messages on your billboard in Kano.
Or on your phone.
Or on your phone.
Changing messages on your phone.
Advertisers can even reach you on your phone. So that may, and if they can reach you individually, personally, it may reduce, the patronage for, billboards outside. But they go hand in hand. There's no way it will eliminate such existing media, exactly it will exist.
It will not eliminate this type of advertising,
but it will just get more patronage as time goes on, which is good for the industry. And then for the conventional ones that are the LEDs now, you just have to be more creative and changing messages. Like before you have, let me give you an instance. On a billboard, you can only have one message there for 1 year, because I remember advertisers those days, they'll come up with their creatives and then you post it on the billboard and it will be there for as long as a year. But if they decide to change it, maybe after 6 months, you put it there again. But right now, a billboard, that same billboard can carry as many as 10, 20 messages. So still on that location, you can have on display many messages from different clients. So you can see the effect and the innovation technology has brought about in the industry. Instead of having just one billboard static is there, you can only have a message displayed on it. And the location may be prime that people pass through there. So you can reach as many people on that particular structure, location. And what has made that happen is technology.
So, I know you are one of the top advertising companies, probably number 1 to 3.
No, it's not okay. But we are just a key player. We are a major player. Well, it's big, but we are just because it's the industry is becoming, so it requires a lot of money. It's becoming dynamic. That's the word for me. It's quite dynamic. But we remain a major player. I won't want to make false claims.
But I'm interested in the fact that you grew that business up to where it is now. And it's a big company. There is no way, whichever way we throw it, you'll still be.
Right.
How did you learn, to be an entrepreneur, the mistakes you made, the things that you learned on the job, how you structured it, your staffs, how you learn to manage them? What are the issues? Because I want to bring out some things to learn from you, and where my audience will also know this is what you went through, most especially the challenges, not the wins.
All right. Number one, let's look at it as a journey. It's a journey, and if you want to go on a journey, you must plan. For example, you want to go to Abeokuta on Saturday, you must have determined that you are going to Abeokuta, and then after making that decision, you now plan how to go, whether you want to go by road, by rail, or whatever. And bear in mind, if you embark on that journey, anything can happen on the way. You may go by road, take your car, and you get to Shagamu and you get a flat tire. Those are challenges.
Are you saying that you should be ready?
You should be ready
for challenges.
For challenges. Number one, you must make up your mind that you want to become an entrepreneur. And then once you decide that, plan. First, select which sector you want to play in. Once you do that, you identify that, and then you embark on that journey. Be prepared for challenges. Challenges will surely come. My own journey for Uniksites, it started many years ago. And of course, I was talking with one of your friends out there. I've forgotten his name now. He talked about, he said he was involved in it as well, but he opted out after the incident of Raji Rasaki. People in the industry will know what I mean. There was so much blight, environmental blight in Lagos State. People were putting up billboards everywhere that became so ugly. And somebody needed to sanitize the environment. And Raji Rasaki came and he pulled down all the billboards. So some people, those are challenges. Some people
lost money.
Yeah, lost money. You would have lost because it's investment, building all those structures. So some people left for good reasons too. Some left and go to other businesses and they made a success out of it. Some remained. So you must be focused. You must be resilient. You must, if you want to succeed. So you must be determined that whatever, happens, once you are focused, where you're going to, you face it. Those challenges came. They must come. Now, you must also be hardworking. And please don't cut corners. There are, in any business, people will come to you with suggestions. And even you may think of ways to go about things to make things easier. Just play by the rules. There are rules, particularly in the industry. There are rules. Play by the rules. If you play by the rules and you are hardworking and you are focused, you will definitely surmount some of those challenges. And I think you must also, this is important, you must stay focused. You must stay focused and don't be easily discouraged. Once you believe that is the way you have decided to go, just give it all and be focused and you will get there.
Stay focused.
Yes.
So you've been in this industry from the beginning.
From the beginning.
And this is the same industry
that I still am in.
You don't believe in diversifying. You put your eggs in one basket.
In Nigeria, we tried diversifying, but they just didn't work. Again, there is a saying. There's a saying in Yoruba that if you forget your source,
where you're coming from,
you must never forget where you're coming from. So, in essence, we started Uniksites. We made money and we diversified, but we still kept our eye on Uniksites. Even those areas we diversified into, some of them failed. Some succeeded, some failed. But we never stopped to realize that our ability to raise funds, to even think of diversifying into other areas, the source that produced that energy, that capacity, must continually be nurtured. So that's just what I believe. That's what I think, So I found out that even after diversifying, I still intend to, after we tried our hands on other things, some of them failed, but we are still back in Uniksites, and we will ensure that whatever happens, Uniksites remains, because that's the what do I call it? The source of anything that has come out of it.
So in this kind of business, you must have a lot of connection. You need a lot of connection to get the job. It's like it's services, right?
It is.
So, you're networking, you are marketers,
yeah, sure.
Or you're taking government contracts.
Right.
And this must be, it's not guaranteed. This must be a very difficult terrain in competition.
It is.
Well, I mean, one of the things I know is that nowadays, most people would rather give their family the job, even though he doesn't know how to do it.
Well,
I know.
Yes, that happens. That happens.
Or their friends.
Yes, but that happens. But the good thing about this is that you must know the business to excel. So if you do it well, I tell you, people will hear about you. And it's a marketing communication industry. We know ourselves. So if you are good at it, even I agree, you should have connection. But if you are good, people will even hear about you, and they'll say, it's the Uniksites that I want to use. And again, what makes our own again more unique is that what we sell is locations. We sell locations. So if I have 10 billboards in Lagos, for instance, active billboards that I have structures on 10 locations, and the client wants that location, Bagada Express, for instance. He wants because he knows that is where his targets.
So you buy the location.
You buy the locations from us, and he knows that is where his target. So he's bound to come and meet you, that he wants to use that your billboard to advertise his product or services. You understand? So if you have that, if you have prime locations, strive to have prime locations.
You will make your money.
You will make your money. Clients will come. And then in addition to that, you must be professional. Make sure the board is well maintained, make sure it is clean, and make sure it does what you promise, what you put out the board as a promise to deliver. And then clients will come. But that was not to say you don't need connections. You also still need connections, to make them be interested, because the marketing director may say, okay, we need a board in Bagada. So, and then maybe there are 2 boards in Bagada, but they are good.
Yeah.
But if you have a connection, the marketing team may say, I don't know, they may prefer your location with good reasons to the other one. But the location just must be spot on.
What advice would you give people that are trying to start up in your business or other business, especially the young people? I know maybe there's competition. Things might be different when you started up. It might be more competitive now. Financing, so many things. I know you did mention, how would you say that they should position themselves? I know you did mention that you think that you believe that they should work with.
Yes, which is important.
Should they work in the industry that they are trying to get into, or they can just work generally? And what else can they do?
Well, for young people, the choices are many out there. Some early may have decided, this is what I want to do, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. This is what I want to do.
It's also very difficult to decide now.
It is, exactly. Exactly. You may find yourself working in an insurance company, for instance, or an oil company, and you find out, I insist, but it's not emphatic, that it's good for you to at least taste the labor market first and work somewhere, even if it's for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I decided I was going to work for 10 years after leaving school. After leaving the university, I said to myself, I was going to work for 10 years. And that after 10 years, give or take, I must have risen to the top of that company or wherever I'm working after 10 years. And I said, wherever I have reached after the 10 years, I was going to pull out and start a business, And like I told you, though my dad was into it, but it never occurred to me at the beginning that was what I wanted to do. But during the course of my, career, I now found out that there's a gap somewhere, and I knew I was well prepared to take opportunity of that gap. And that's how I ended up there. But it's still good for somebody to work, particularly to now know how money is made, how money is spent, and then you can decide. So if you find yourself in, I tell my daughter, my children, I said, look, anywhere you find yourself, it is an opportunity for you to learn how business is done in that sector. Even if you have decided you want to be this, you want to be that, and you don't get employed in that area that you are interested in, and you find yourself in another industry, learn the rubrics there. Learn how they make money, because businesses make money.
Yes.
You may find something that may interest you there, and you'll latch on onto it. And that may be, the beginning of your success story. So work somewhere, be patient, learn, understand it. And then if you now decide that it is what you want to do, then give it your all. And be hardworking, be straightforward. Don't try to cut corners. Don't say, you may find people who make money in that sector through other means. You don't try, you just be focused, be straightforward, and be hardworking, and pursue your dreams. And you will find out that you will turn out to success.
Thanks for the advice. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Really appreciate the conversation and the insight you gave us in how to grow a business. We hope you'll come back some other time.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So that was very insightful. We're going to have another entrepreneur who is going to shed more light and tell us his own part on how he grows his business next week. I hope you guys will be available. If you have questions, send it to buildingwealth@gmail.com. Thank you.